Hi, this is your hippie pastor. I'm back with a brand new show about, eventually we shall dissect the words of Jesus and separate the words of Jesus from the rest of the Bible. In other words, attempting to rescue Jesus Christ from the Christian religion, which oppose each other in many, 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 many instances, according to your hippie pastor. But first, I must recount a story of my life, of what led up to this. I was born in Bayshore, New York, to Latino parents. My father was from Cusco, Peru. My mom was a New York Puerto Rican, of Puerto Rican descent. And we were Catholic. We were raised in a middle-class family, very nice, in an Irish neighborhood in Long Island, New York. And we always went to Catholic schools. I really had a feeling of love. I loved the Catholic, I don't know if it was just the Catholic religion or God himself or the priesthood or whatnot. I just really had this inner love for prayer and for believing in God. Maybe this comes natural in children because they say that children are angels, they come from heaven, so maybe that's why it comes natural for children to want to pray, to want to believe in God, to kneel by their beds at nighttime and say their prayers. It comes natural. Only later do we learn all these intellectual, foolish beliefs that there is no God and blah, blah, blah. But I'm talking about God. I'm not talking about religion. If you believe that religion is wrong, is phony, is false, is bad, is wrong, I can't argue that point. But as far as the existence of God, all you have to do is take a look at nature, at Mother Nature. And if you study Mother Nature in all of its intricate precision and function, and still come back to me and tell me that there's no proof of the existence of God, you are a fool. Anyway, my first, what would you call it, mantra, was that I had an Irish friend. I was 7 years old. I had an Irish friend who was 9 years old, but he was Protestant. And according to the Catholic religion and the Catholic priests, they had assured me that Protestants were not going to heaven. Protestants were going to hell or limbo or wherever, but they were not saved. Only Catholics were saved. So I loved my friend, and I just I was sad about this. I was saddened, so I asked the priest if there was anything I could do to baptize this kid into the Catholic religion so that he could go to heaven. And so the priest said, yeah, maybe he was playing along with me. And he told me to get a pitcher of water and to pour it on the kid's head, the whole pitcher, and baptize him in the name of the Catholic religion, and then this kid, my friend, could be saved and go to heaven, right? And that's exactly what happened. That's what I did. And my friend, he took it by faith. He really believed in this, and he accepted it. And after I poured the whole pitcher of water in his head, thank God it was summertime in New York, we did it outside, he was very happy. Needless to say, 5 years later, this kid drowned swimming in a lake there in Long Island and passed away. I don't think, if he went to heaven, I don't think it was because he was baptized into the Catholic religion. I just think it took him to heaven was his faith. He did it in faith. He did it in faith in God. It doesn't matter what religion you are. There's only one true religion. God has no religion. There's only one true religion, and that is love, and that is God. And there is no one true religion to be saved or to go to heaven. That's a bunch of hogwash and baloney taught by politicians of any religion. God only looks on the heart. He doesn't care about your credentials or where you belong to, or even if you don't belong. Even if you're a surfer, and you want to find God in the ocean and feel peace, or even if you're a hippie like me, and in nature and find God in the creation, God has no place. And he even says that in the Bible. But we're not going to talk about the Bible right now. We're going to talk about me. Later we'll get into the Bible. So therefore, that was my first mantra. Then later, when I was like 9 years old, my father, being a rich Peruvian, got tired of living in the United States as a construction laborer and decided that we were all going to move to Peru because he had properties and he had riches in Peru from inheritances. So we didn't know a word of Spanish because our parents did not want us to speak Spanish because we lived in an Irish neighborhood and it wouldn't have been very prudent for us to be the little Latinos on the block. So my first name is Julio and my second name is Robert. So I was known as Bobby. I had no idea my name was Julio back in those days until we arrived to Peru when I was 9 years old. And that was quite an experience for us kids. We went on a boat called Grace Line. And it was a 2-week trip from New York to Lima, Peru. And there we were. And we were this hit on the block because we were very popular, because we were the gringos. The gringos on the block. And everybody in Peru, they like gringos. So, we were very popular and we had a lot of friends. And there, I continued going to Catholic school, a beautiful Catholic school there in Lima, Peru. And I had a lot of friends and we had a beautiful life. And I got into being an altar boy. I signed up to be an altar boy, and not only that, but 3 times a week. I mean, I'm telling you, I was like, 10 years old, 11 years old. 3 times a week I would go to before school in fasting and go to church and whatever, take communion, who knows what I did. But I was serving God. I felt faithful to God. I felt appreciated. I loved God. It gave me a sense of peace. Isn't that weird? I mean, a 10-year-old kid, 11-year-old kid, or maybe even up to 12, having this love for God within the Catholic religion. So all was hunky-dory, all was nice in paradise, until, and life is funny that way, you don't know what's around the corner. I didn't know what was around the corner. But God knew what was around the corner. You know, I might not know what's going to happen tomorrow, but God knows what's going to happen tomorrow, and that's good enough for me. Tragedy hit my home. My father passed away of a heart attack. I guess I was like 12 years old or something, something to that effect, 12 or 13. And he passed away of a heart attack after us being like 3 or 4 years in Peru. And it was, we had not been prepared for this. We didn't know about death it was just unexpected. It wasn't in the program. It wasn't in my mind. It was a shock. It was a shock to every single member of my family in their own way. Everybody just freaked. So, I don't want to make this too long, but on the next show, I will show you about how we all freaked out. Guys and girls, God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Peace and love to you. Thanks.